So first off, I want to say thank you so much to all of you guys who have liked, hearted, subscribed. Any kind of interaction on a YouTube channel is huge, and we're 30 subscribers deep, and that's huge for a baby channel starting off. Now, those of you who are not coming here from the community I was previously in, and you're new, and you're an angler, and you're just finding me, I have been a content creator before, just not in this community. I was actually pretty avid and known in the pagan witchcraft community, because as you can see, I'm filming from my witchy room. Yes, I am a witch. I am a pagan. And that's just a side part of who I am. But this channel is about boating and fishing. So sometimes, every now and then, I might come to you from my she shed or my girl cave, or is what I call my witchy room. This is where I go to escape the fact that I'm a mom and I need some alone time to read a book and just chill, listen to some music, watch some fishing videos. Oh my god, I do that so much. I'll just sit here and watch wavy boats, to be honest. Or I'll sit here and watch other anglers. I have been watching a lot of people throughout Florida creating content, out there fishing, boating, kayaking, whatever. A big shout out to Thumper Fishing. Thank you so much for coming over, subscribing, watching my stuff, because I adore your channel. I adore the content you put out, because for a newbie like me, some of the stuff you put out is so real, so raw, and so honest that it means a lot to someone who's new on the fishing front in Florida, especially in this area. I just want to let you know, I watch all your videos. I love it. My husband as well. So thank you for coming over and watching my shenanigans, because your shenanigans is so much better than my shenanigans. But hey, we're here for the shenanigans, right? So I left the witchcraft pagan community. I'm still a witch. I'm still a pagan, but that's not part of this video. But I wanted to pursue something different in a different place. And my husband and I took up this hobby of fishing. Now, we're noobs, but we're not noobs. And what does that mean? Well, as a child, 6, 7, 10 years old, I fished with my stepfather and my mom in lakes, in freshwater, in Massachusetts. So that's my childhood, right? And you don't really remember much. I remember the sunfish I caught when I was like 6. And then I fast forward to a little bit older, to, your late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, and you're kind of get that itch to fish again. You want to get a fishing license. You still live in Massachusetts, but you want to fish again, because just that thrill of throwing it out and feeling that nibble and then that pull and that tight line, and you're like, I don't know what the fuck I just caught, but I caught something, and you start reeling. There's nothing like it, right? There's nothing like it. It's a thrill, it's an adrenaline rush, it's a thing. And I did that in my late 20s, early 30s, again, freshwater, in Massachusetts. So let's fast forward a little further to March of 2025, just a couple months ago. Our neighbors, who we're really good friends with, said, hey, let's go to a boat show. Just for something to do on a Saturday, let's go to a boat show in Merritt Island. And we went to the said boat show, and we fell in love with the idea of buying a boat. We're like, let's buy a boat. I don't know how that came about, but it came about, and sooner or later we started shopping for a boat. At first I wasn't sure if it was in our budget, but come to find out it was in our budget. And we went to a place called Boteca. Great place. And we fell in love with a Key West. And that's what you'll see in the very beginning of our channel, where it says she was dropped off to Blue Points Marina. We purchased that Key West, and we have her homed at Blue Points out at Port Canaveral, where they take care of your boat, they put your boat in the water, they take it out, basic storage of a boat. And we set out to go fishing, because that's fun, right? So exploring, being new, and we already knew how to drive a boat and take care of a boat, but fishing in salt water is a completely different beast than fishing in fresh water. Everything's bigger and everything's out to kill you, essentially, in a sense, right? So we're all new to this, and we set out and we explored Port Canaveral, and that day was a little too choppy to go out in the seas, but we went to the Intercoastal. And that's in one of my earlier videos. There's only 3 videos up there, but in the earlier video, it showed us going through the channel lock onto the other side. And unbeknownst to me, because nobody tells me these things, I didn't realize that saltwater catfish have spines and spikes that can stab you and do some serious damage. And I got it right through the hand right here. It's healed up pretty well, but I still have no feeling right here in my hand, in this specific finger. Like, I cannot feel my finger touching my hand. I can move it, but I just can't feel it. So it's probably a nerve thing. That spine, can't feel any of this right here. That spine went all the way down to almost my wrist. So, I ended up this is not in the camera footage because it was such a chaotic, tragic event that we did not catch it on camera footage. But I ended up being Coast Guard rescued. Not Coast Guard like the helicopters are flying in and shit like that. The Coast Guard was only a couple 100 miles behind us. My husband just turned the boat around and went up to them and said, "Hey, what do you think we should do?" And they said, "Well, I think she needs to see a hospital." Because the venom in a catfish goes up your arm. And that became a huge issue with me. I didn't react so well to it. Some people react okay to it and they can handle it. My body did not. So we tied our boat to the Coast Guard boat. They sent us back through the channel lock. With an EMS was waiting for me and sent me to Port Canaveral Hospital. I was having a really bad reaction to the venom. They gave me fentanyl on the way to the hospital, and it barely touched the pain. It was so bad. It's just, some people can handle catfish barbs with no problem. My body did not react so well. So that was that scenario. Which brings me into the kind of main point I want to talk about in this video, is what it's been like thus far. I promised I would do a video every Friday, but like I said, sometimes we don't get out on the water. But there will be a video on Fridays. I guess you can count on that because we didn't get out on the water last weekend because of the rain, and this weekend because of the rain and thunderstorms. So we're looking at next weekend, which is great. So sometimes we don't have enough camera footage to make a video, so you have to bear with us when there might be a lapse in videos, but I promise, they're coming. Which brings us to my next point. I want to talk about being a woman in the fishing community, because it hasn't been all that great, and that sucks. And I've had a lot of supporters, a lot of you guys have come over from the previous community I was in here on YouTube, and a lot of you are new anglers finding my channel, and I love that. And I thank you so much for your support, and I learned so much from a lot of the people in the angler community, men, women alike, doesn't matter to me. I don't care. If you got knowledge and you're willing to share tips and tricks, I'm down to watch your excursions and your adventures and learn something from it. But I have found it very difficult as a woman who loves to fish. I'm a newbie-ish to this, There's a lot we don't know. There's a lot we're learning. I have not been doing it for 20-something years, 60-something years, whatever the fuck people want to say. I have not been doing it for a long time, but I love it. And that's what should matter. I have a passion for it, and that's what should matter. I love getting out on the water. I love the sunshine, the water, the ocean, the salt, the mammals, all of it. I love casting and seeing what happens. It's a thrill to me, and I love it, and I love everything about it. But as a woman, this is a male-dominated hobby/sport, because some people see it as a sport. I'm here to make it a hobby and something fun and something that my family can do with me. As you can see, my 11-year-old son, has been on the boat with us. But, as a woman, people look at me like this is a man's world, and that's unfortunate. And I have seen a decent amount, not a crazy amount, but a decent amount of gatekeeping in the fishing community here in Central Florida, Port Canaveral area. I'm a part of a couple fishing and boating groups on Facebook, and a lot of them will tell me, hey, listen, we've spent our whole lives, cultivating this sport or this hobby, and, we're not here to just give it out for free. And I completely get that, but I'm not asking for, everybody's coordinates and everybody's fishing spots. And I'm just asking for some advice and some know-how and some how-to and a little bit of guidance. And I have just been met with gatekeeping after gatekeeping after gatekeeping. And that's unfortunate because when my husband asks those questions, he's greeted with an answer. And when I'm asked those, when I ask those questions, I'm greeted with, half an answer, or, no answer at all. And you're basically a girl. You're a girl, So in a sense. So I think that people should be more excited about women fishing and boating. And when you see a family, a husband and a wife, and maybe a child or two, learning how to boat and learning how to fish, and eager about it and passionate about it, and have this drive and this sense of want to, you should be excited for them and maybe give them a tip of maybe what they're doing wrong, or a tip of what they're doing right, or maybe out of the 20 coordinates you have, just one. The thing is, the ocean's a big place, and we don't fish in just the ocean, we fish in the intercoastal as well, but it's a big place. And I feel that even if you give away one coordinate out of the 25 you have, or one fishing spot out of the 25 you have, it shouldn't be an issue, because you should be happy to help a noob along, a new passionate fishing family. And that's unfortunate. That's just kind of what I've been met with as a girl, as a 40-something-year-old woman. Just bought a boat just a few months into it, and could use some advice, and I'm not getting any. And aside from some great anglers here on my channel and anglers I've been watching and whatnot, I'm greeted with a stonewall in a lot of Facebook groups, and that's really unfortunate. But I kind of wanted to talk about it because for all the women out there that love fishing and love being on their boat, or even on a dock, or just fucking throwing a line in, we should make it more both sexes. Male and female alike love to fish. I don't know why it's such a male-dominated sport. Maybe because it can be stinky and slimy and fishy. I don't know. That doesn't bother me. I really don't care. Although, I do have a slight fear of touching fish after the snafu. If you follow me on Facebook, you've seen pictures of how bad this actually was. My hand was 3 times the size. This whole wound here was pretty bad. I have a joke that I'm going to actually put a catfish tattoo right here. Just because of that. But that's my saltwater initiation right there, y'all. Right there. So we're hoping to get out on the ocean again this upcoming weekend. This is Mother's Day weekend, so we're kind of laying low. And plus the weather kind of shit, honestly. But I just bought myself a new rod and reel. So I've tried a couple different ones, not feeling it. I went to a place in Merritt Island called The Handler. They were great. Although one was a jackass to me, but he redeemed himself. When I fought back, he tried to challenge me as a woman. And, as most anglers do that are men. And I challenged him back, and he was like, okay, all right, she's aggressive. She loves this sport. All right, we're going to help her. So he was a dick at first, but he backtracked pretty quick. So we tried a few things. This is what I ended up with. I went for the blue. So I'm trying not to hit all the stuff on the wall here. This is a Terramar Shimano. There, you can see it right there. I really fell in love with this rod. My issue as a woman is kind of weight and heft. And as you can see, I have small bony hands. And, you know, there are rods and reels that are great for us women. And this was one of them. So we tried a bunch of different things, and this is what I ended up falling in love with. I got the braid on there. I got the blue. My husband makes all of the rigs. I want to go over that at some point in the video to show what we're working with. He's great with his knots and his rigs, and he makes all those separately. But this is the kind of setup I ended up with. As you can see, it cost a pretty penny, but you know what? I love fishing. So it didn't really matter too much. Let me just make sure I'm not hitting all the stuff on the wall with this. So it's a really, really nice rod. And this is probably not the place to be showing this to you. But I love it. Love it. Now, while we were there, sorry, I'm burping. While we were there, I'm not going to edit this video, fuck it. We got some trolling rods. So I wrote it down what we got so I could, you know, remember. So we got star rods, handcrafted star rods, 7 foot KFHCs, 6:1 ratio Seagates. So we're going to put those for trolling. So our issue has been getting our sea legs, as it were. Learning Port Canaveral, learning our boat, learning the fishing capabilities of our boat, the size of our boat, all those things, depth charts, all the things nautical that you have to learn as a boat owner and a angler at the same time. So we kind of got our sea legs now, and now it's time to kind of venture out past the 4 or 5 mile mark out offshore. So we're ready to go to Pelican Flats, a couple of different reefs that are like 20 miles out, and go catch those bigger fish. So that's why we got the trolling rods today. And then I got, you know, I told him exactly what my problems were with fishing, you know, exactly what I felt I needed. And after he stopped being a dick and realized that I'm a woman to be reckoned with, he set me up with what I actually needed. And I'm really excited about this. So I'll get into more details. I want to talk to you guys about the rigs we're using, knots, all those kinds of things, and not just show excursions, but how we're doing what and what we're doing what. Because if I can be somebody, even if it's a couple years down the road, sharing how I started out, how I was a noob, and how I can help. If I can help somebody that was me 5 years down the road, I want to do that. I don't want to gatekeep the angler community. I don't want to gatekeep Port Canaveral or the areas of Port Canaveral, the reefs, the flats, you know, Pelican Flats, all those areas out there in deep sea fishing. I want to help anybody I can. And that's part of the reason why I started this channel as well, to share my adventures, but also share the knowledge that I acquire over time. But this video is kind of just to show you kind of what I got today, the 2 trolling rods that we got. They're upstairs. I didn't feel like bringing them down here. You'll see them on videos. There will be a video on Fridays. Sometimes if I miss a video, it's not because I didn't post it, it's because there was no content. Sometimes you get completely skunked and you don't get a bite at all, and then therefore you have no content. So bear with me on that, because that happens. So I just want to thank you all, honestly. 30 subscribers, this close to the beginning of this channel. Thank you guys for coming along. Lots of adventures, things, weird things that my husband seems to catch, fucking awesome fucking shit, and I'm catching fucking catfish. I don't fucking know. I even got a t-shirt made, you know? You think the meow meows would cut the bullshit, but no, I keep on catching meow meows. Well, my husband catches all the cool shit. I don't fucking know. Maybe it's 'cause I'm a girl. I don't know. But, I just wanted to kind of get on here and just do a quick video. Well, it's really not quick. It's like 20 minutes long. But thanking you all for liking, subscribing, commenting, hearting, whatever, and listen to me rant about being a new fisherwoman in the angler community. So thank you for subscribing and being a part of Canaveral Tides. Stay tuned for more adventures and craziness to come. Bye, guys.